Hello and welcome to Business Lunch. I'm Nisha Podar and with me as always is my co-anchor Pavitra Parekh, and we here in the studios and in our newsroom are really celebrating the festival of Holi. So wish you all the viewers the same as well. Happy Holi to you as well, Pavitra.
Happy Holi, and everyone's colourful. The market also looks up.
Yes, that's right. And market is totally in a festive cheer mood today. Almost 1% gain on Nifty 50 at the moment. Take a look at that, about 17,753 levels, and a sustained, kind of a trajectory for the market. Opened about 0.5% up in trade and then continued the upswing as well. When we talk about the bank Nifty, well, that is lagging behind. That is an underperformer clearly. The banking space, the big boys of bank, 0.29% up on Bank Nifty at the moment, but mid caps are the ones which are keeping in line with the key indices and also the euphoria around the Holi festival, it seems, and mid caps are up about 0.94% at the moment. Advanced decline ratio, because of the mid cap participation, is on the side of the advances, so no surprises there. But on my screen at the moment at lunch hour, Bajaj Finserv, NTPC, Adani Enterprises are showing good amount of gains, along with some of the PSUs like ONGC Power Grid as well doing pretty well in trade.
Oh, absolutely. The PSU index, the CPSE index is actually the top sectoral gainer right now. So that one doing very well. I think important note is a lot of the Adani stocks, while they look like they're clocking in good gains, they've seen a significant fall from the highs. Adani Enterprise at the high point of the day was up over 11%. It's less than 3% higher right now. So there's definitely that to track. What's also doing well today is a lot of the tech companies once more. So take a look at the large cap names, the likes of Infy, TCS, some of the bigger gainers on the index. And you also have some of the mid caps. So something like an Emphasis is up 3%. You have LTI Mindtree doing very well. There you have it on your screen. So those doing well, but including the banks which have seen a fall, like Nisha was pointing out, the metals index has also seen a fall. It was a top sectoral gainer. Right now, it's pretty much at the bottom of the lot. So, a lot of the names like Tata Steel, JSW Steel, definitely seeing some cuts come through. But that's what's going on with the market action. We will talk more about this. First up, let's kickstart the show by talking you through an important conversation that we had. Vedanta chairman Anil Agarwal dismisses concerns over debt, says the group's position is comfortable, and asks how long will you hold on to your legs on government's opposition to merging Vedanta's international zinc assets with HZL. He also urges the government to sell its residual stake, saying that the promise was made over 20 years ago. Listen in.
I'm saying why government has agreed that we will sell 100% share 20 years back. How much you hold us our leg not to run. They have to take a decision to disinvest this 29%.
Yes.
If there is a clear-cut agreement that they will be divesting to us with a particular formula, and government can get probably 50,000 crore, 40,000 crore, very comfortable, every penny has been made. So there is no question. We have, number one, we have enough internal accrual to take care of all our debt payment. On the parallel, we have enough resources to raise debt, which is the regular business of ours, to make sure that each payment is made on time. Last 15 years, never this kind of raise, never been company was such a good shape.
All right, Anil Agarwal there talking to our colleague, and that's a big tussle at Hindustan Zinc that's taking place there. Hindustan Zinc is in the red at the moment, and what's also down in trade is Britannia, and let's talk about that. It's a top index loser today, and that's after the downgrade coming in from CLSA. In fact, let's take it across to Mangla Malu, who's joining in with all the details of what the report says. Mangla.
Well, for CLSA, they've downgraded Britannia. They already had an underperform rating on the stock, but they've gone ahead and downgraded it to sell now. The reason why they've done that is because they believe that there is a risk of margins missing consensus estimates. That's on account of high inflation in both wheat as well as milk. But the point to be noted is that wheat actually has corrected about 30% from the highs, while milk stays at near record high levels. So the impact of that on the margins is something that we will have to monitor. Consensus estimates margins at around 17.5% all of next year. CLSA believes that there is a downside risk to that, as a result of which they've also downgraded their EPS estimates by about 1 to 11%. What they're also uncomfortable with right now is the way the stock has moved over the last 1 year or so. A 30% up move means that there is limited room for an upside, as a result of which the target price that they have on the stock is 4,060 odd rupees.
All right, one of the top losers on the index now, Britannia, down over 2%. But Mangalam, stay on. There's another stock which is reacting to a brokerage note coming through. This one is on Nykaa, where Macquarie has initiated coverage with an underperform rating. So take us through what they have to say.
Well, that's an interesting one coming in on Nykaa as well. Macquarie has initiated coverage with an underperform rating, and the target that they have is about 115. Remember, at the peak, the stock was over 400 rupees, adjusted for the bonus, etc. So after a big correction, they've, they believe that there is further room for downside. Why is that? Because two big businesses of Nykaa, the core business, the beauty business, is where they are, worried about the margins out there. They say that there is a risk to beauty segment's margins as the company expands to smaller towns, expands offline presence, and at the same time, the competition threat from other large players looms as well. The other revenue driver of the company was supposed to be the fashion business, where they believe that their experience in analyzing physical retail companies makes them cautious on Nykaa's, own brand focus and curation-led positioning in fashion, as a result of which they believe that the business prospects look relatively cautious, and limited operating history of the company with the need for growth investments may bring some more caution to their EPS estimates, and that is what explains their underperform rating on the stock.
All right, thanks Mangalam for enumerating what the report says on the downgrade to Nykaa stock, and that stock is down about 1.5%, nowhere close to the downgrade target price at the moment. Let me point that out as well. With that, we'll slip into a short breather on Business Lunch, but up next, we'll also get you excerpts from our conversation with LIC's chairman M.R. Kumar on the Adani Group's exposure and the business prospects. Stay tuned.
Back, you're still tuned into Business Lunch. An important story now, a probe report by the top public health body of the US, the Center for Disease Control, into cough syrup deaths in the Gambia has pinned blame on Indian manufacturer Maiden Pharmaceuticals. Ekta standing by at the big wall with all of the details on the story. Ekta.
Well, thanks for that. The US Center for Disease Control has linked the death of at least 70 children last year to medicines contaminated with diethylene glycol and ethylene glycol. The report suggests the cough syrups were likely to be manufactured by Indian company Maiden Pharma that were imported into Gambia, causing acute kidney injury cases amongst the children. The Indian government has given a clean chit to Maiden Pharma in December last year. The US CDC report follows a report by a government panel in Gambia in December last year that recommended prosecution of the Indian manufacturer of the cough syrups. The WHO, remember, had issued an alert in October of last year advising regulators to stop the sale of syrups. In what highlights the possible linkage to Maiden Pharma, the US CDC in their report says that all the caregivers interviewed had reported that the child in their care had consumed a prescription or over-the-counter syrup-based medication. And while many caregivers they interviewed were unable to recall the names of medications that they were administered, a single international manufacturer that produced a syrup-based medication was reported by 8 of the 14 caregivers in question. Further on, the lab analysis of 23 medication samples conducted by Gambia's Ministry of Health and WHO confirmed that 4 products from Maiden Pharma contained DEG and EG, and all medications that had tested positive from the substance were imported into the Gambia on June 21st of last year, shortly before the occurrence of the first case of acute kidney injury. Now, the CDC says that this was one of the first documented DEG outbreaks in which contaminated medicines were in fact imported. It aims to point to a larger concern of DEG mass poisoning continuing to occur globally, especially in low-resource settings. For example, such cases have been documented in Panama, Nigeria, India, and Haiti. In the past, manufacturers have been suspected of substituting DEG in place of safer but more expensive pharma-grade solvents. According to the US CDC, these DEG-associated large-scale poisoning events can be strengthened via international regulatory structures in place in the pharmaceutical industry and surveillance systems that could be, in fact, event-based.
All right, very important piece of information there. Thanks so much, Ekta, for getting us all those important details. Adani Enterprises is off the low point of the day, trading with about 5% gains. Needs to be highlighted. Now, LIC chairperson M.R. Kumar tells CNBC-TV18 that the life insurance giant met the top management of the Adani Group and remains confident of its business prospects. Take a listen.
I can only confirm that the conversation has happened with the department, but there's nothing I can state as of now on the outcome of that meeting. But yes, we have had the meeting.
Are you more confident than you were about a month ago on the business prospects, not the stock price, the business prospects?
I believe so. We are quite happy about the meeting.
All right, that is the chairman of LIC. But staying with the insurance space now, the government is working on bringing clarity around taxation on long-term savings plans, and there could be a possible increase in the threshold as well. This is information that my colleague Yash is picking up. He joins us now with the exclusive details. All right, looks like there's a little bit of a problem connecting to Yash, so we'll try to re-establish that connection. But in the meantime, let's quickly take a look at, what's going on with the markets. You still have, by the way, you've seen a big move come through in Bajaj FinServ. So take a look at that one. That is moved up right now.
Watching Business Lunch. Now, in the insurance space, government is working on bringing clarity around the taxation on long-term savings plans, and there could be a possible increase in the threshold limits. Yash Jain, my colleague, has exclusive details on that. Joins us now with all those details. Tell us, Yash.
Well, Nisha, since the time the budget announcement was made on taxing long-term savings policy, various questions first about the model of that taxation itself, but the question which persisted was that which policy would get taxed. I mean, the policy which the 5 lakh limit gets reached, or the earlier policy.
The line is quite patchy, Yash. We'll have to come back to you. But as per sources, well, the government is working on bringing clarity around the taxation on long-term savings plan, where there was a lot of a disconnect while the budget announcement was given in the sector. Now, the discussions within the government underway on whether the policy holder gets to choose the policy getting taxed, and the discussions within the government underway also on the possible increase in the threshold for taxation. So all that is clarity is being talked about in the government right now, is what Yash was enumerating there. Pavitra. For that update then, and a quick look at the market at this point. And Bank Nifty, which was quite a laggard, in fact underperforming the key indices, is now trying to perk back in the last 15-20 minutes or so of trade. There has been some momentum, 0.34% gain. SBI, Axis Bank, IndusInd Bank are the ones which have gained. Sensex at this point with 600 points gain, and mid-cap universe also doing very strong, 0.93% up in trade. Adani Enterprises, Adani Ports, which had fallen to the low point of the day, have seen some buying from the low point, along with Reliance Industries, the big boy, adding more might to the market. On the losing side, well, I would say that Tata Steel and JSW Steel, from the steel side, have seen some bit of sluggishness coming in more for the metal sector. Pavitra.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, that's what's going on with the market action. But there's another update that we do want to bring you, and this is some concerning news which is coming through from the world of entertainment. Amitabh Bachchan suffered a muscle tear to his right rib cage while shooting for Prabhas star Project K in Hyderabad. The veteran actor revealed through a blog post that his rib cartilage popped during an action shot and that breathing and movement is painful, adding that he will take a couple of weeks to get back to normal. He also did receive medical care in Hyderabad and is now at his Mumbai home. So, we do hope that he recovers soon.
Yes, we wishing Amitabh Bachchan a very, very safe and quick recovery there. But with that, completely out of time on this edition of Business Lunch. But wish all our viewers a very, very happy Holi today, as well as playing colors tomorrow, from Pavitra, myself, and the entire team of Business Lunch. Thanks so much for